have this guy around. I mean, a lot of people, don't like him. The front office doesn't like him, and you're paying the dude $20 million.
And the sad part is, he can produce every season.
Yeah.
The guy is an RBI machine.
Like a flat-out hit. There's no doubt.
And that's the crazy. Here's the good part about him, is he backs it up on the field. If you're going to put up with somebody like him, like Barry Bonds, or Manny, where it's just an ego, there's a problem in the locker room, at least this guy backs it up. But is it worth for a A-list team, I'm using that term a lot lately, or a team that's making a run this season to pick him up? Obviously with the news of the Marlins or, who knows, Seattle, who just have this bulk of cash laying around, just make some quick, money with season tickets and all that. If they hear, oh, wow, we have Manny Ramirez, that's fine. But, I mean, who's going to pick him up?
I'm not sure. I think there's a couple people in the room that say the Dodgers are a good fit, but I think the Dodgers are very hesitant to trade a guy like Matt Kemp for a Manny Ramirez, who would be a guy who you'd be giving $20 million to next year with an option of 20, and then the year after that of 20. It's an option, of course, that you can hold, but the Dodgers they're going to take off $47 million at the end of the day, at the end of the year. Now, if you could somehow package an Andre Ethier with a couple prospects and Andy LaRoche, I think you do that deal yesterday. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind if you can pack something like that together. But dealing a Matt Kemp right now, I don't think you can do. I think this is the future guy of your team for a very long time. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's going to become a Manny Ramirez, because you don't find Manny Ramirez in your minor league system like they did with Matt Kemp. He's not going to come around and be a Manny Ramirez, but he's a five-tool type player, is Matt Kemp, and you can't trade a guy like that who's going to be a 2-month rental. Talking about 2-month rentals,
Ivan Rodriguez.
No, Mark Teixeira.
Well,
I mean, that is your prototypical, and of course Casey Blake. Dodgers get Casey Blake. That's another no doubt 2-month rental. A guy that the Dodgers will not sign. He'd probably go back to Cleveland, and he says that he wants to retire out there. But listen, this Mark Teixeira trade. Both sides, for the next 2 months for the Angels, it's a fantastic trade. One of the best trades they've ever done in Angel history. But what's the chances you lock this guy up? Scott Boras has come out and said that he wants a 10-year, $230 million deal. You're getting a switch-hitting all-star, a Gold Glover, and Mark Teixeira, who can hit for power, who can hit for average. A stud. He's 26, 27 years old. The guy's still in his prime. But 10 years, $230 million?
No.
And Scott Boras and Artie Moreno, by the way, they don't get along.
Of course
they're not very
That's
good
why
friends.
A-Rod's not in the red uniform right now.
So, yeah, that for the next 2 months, it's a great deal. But if they don't lock him up, it's a bad deal for the Angels, because Casey Koshman is a stud.
I've told you before. I don't care if Babe Ruth were to come back. You don't sign Babe Ruth to a 10-year deal. A 10-year deal in baseball, I'm going to go out on a whim, in any sport, is not logical. It is stupid. I don't care if it's Michael Jordan. I mean, only, which team in sports has given bigger than a 10-year deal? What? Help me out here.
Oh, well, hockey, if you want to get hockey.
Rick DiPietro, a goalie getting a 10-year contract. Are you kidding me? Especially a baseball player where if they turn out to be like Nomar when they're at the end of their career and they hurt themselves, brushing their teeth. Are you kidding me? You do not sign a 10-year deal. I don't care if Boras is the agent or if Muhammad is the agent,
Well, listen, it's as we see our favorite concession guy, Tom, in the background of the Dodger game. Oh, Nelly, indeed, yeah.
Oh, Nelly.
Listen, Casey Kochman is going to be a fine player. He's not going to be a power-hitting
He's not going to be a Teixeira.
Like Mark Teixeira, but he's going to be a Gold Glover. He's going to hit 300. He's going to hit 20 home runs. He's going to drive in 80 RBIs. That's what you're going to get out of Casey Kochman. And at the end of the day, worst-case scenario, let's just say you can't lock up Teixeira. You got a kid like Morales in your minor league system, the Angels do. So he can come up and play. He's not a 300 hitter. He's more like a 270 hitter. He's got some pop in his bat. But, listen, Casey Kochman going to Atlanta, I love what Atlanta has done the last couple of years. First off, they get rid of Saltamonquia, and they get Teixeira in return from Texas.
That was a deal to get Teixeira.
To get Teixeira, exactly. And listen, that's their backup catcher, by the way, Saltamonquia was. They have Brian McCann, who is starting every day, playing catching every day, obviously. A stud in Brian McCann, an all-star this year. What do they do with Teixeira? They turn around and get a guy like Casey Kochman, who is a restricted free agent for the next 2 years. What does that mean? You got this guy locked up for the next 2-3 years at $2.5 million. You don't have to go out and sign it to Sheriff for $230 million. So with the end, by the way, a fine player in Casey Koster. An excellent player.
We saw him play last, what was it?
I love this guy's glove, man.
Last Tuesday?
He's very, very, Monday.
Last Monday.
He's very, very good, and I like this for Atlanta even more if the Angels can't lock up Mark Teixeira. If they can lock up Mark Teixeira, it's a fantastic deal for both sides.
But here's the thing, though. Honestly, the Angels stole Teixeira. You know why? They gave up one guaranteed good player, not as good as Teixeira, and a pitcher who's 2-6, who could definitely turn that around. But still, I mean, they were asking for Irvin Santana.
Yeah.
They even threw Lackey's name in there.
And they won Adenhart as well, one of their fine pitching prospects down in the minor league system. And they won
they weren't going to give that.
No, you're right. And they had they talked to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers an offer. Atlanta wanted James Loney in return and a prospect. They had an offer with Arizona with Chad Tracy and a prospect. So they wanted that first baseman. Thank God, as a Dodger fan,
Arizona didn't pick up.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So it's a good thing for the Dodgers on the field. Off the field, marketing-wise, not a good thing. I mean, Frank McCourt is, I think, in my eyes right now, I think that he is scared. I really do. And the revenue, as he said, has gone down.
It's an ego shot, too.
It is. And listen, we're looking at the Dodger lineup right now. Okay? You got kids in James Loney, Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, Russell Martin. Who is your superstar? Do you have a superstar on this team?
They're riding the Russell Martin train.
Do you have an ordinary fan in Los Angeles? Is he going to go out to Dodger Stadium and say, I want to watch Andrew Jones? Is he going to go out and say, I want to watch Juan Pierre? I want to watch Nomar Garciaparra? No. Why is everybody such a big Laker fan? Why do the Lakers sell out every single game? Because they have a superstar. Why are the Angels all of a sudden averaging 40,000 fans a game? Because they have a superstar, Vladimir Guerrero. Us die-hard Dodger fans will continue to support the Dodgers. But he has to realize that the casual fan, especially in Los Angeles, and when you're a 500 team, they're not going to show up. The fans will not be there because they don't have a certain superstar, all-star that they can go out and see. It's just not going to happen.
Well, you know.